Welcome in everybody to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross. We got no DB today. We're doing a daytime episode, but we got to do whatever it takes to get the ace on the bump from Baton Rouge. We got our man Anthony Eyanson on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Man, excellent. Anytime we got a Tiger in the house, I'm in a good mood. It's a beautiful day outside. It is baseball season, so no reason to not be happy. And it's Easter week, so good vibes, good vibes. But I want to get into it. I happen to know that you're from the West Coast. I was stationed out there, beautiful part of the country. What spot are you specifically from in California?
I'm from Lakewood, California, so about
So
40 minutes south,
Lakewood, yeah, everybody's gonna want to know where's that close to.
close to Los Angeles, about like 40 minutes south. Usually what
All
I
right,
tell
so
people.
if you go to Lakewood, what's the not Los Angeles? If you go to Lakewood and somebody's coming to visit, what's the one thing they need to do while they're there?
I would say honestly the beaches. Everybody loves the beach in California, so yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I went there this past summer with the family. We hit up Huntington Beach. I was stationed out there, but never went up there by Los Angeles. Real nice beach, but I mean, you know it. How many bad beaches are there? There really ain't many when you go
Yeah,
across that coastline. There's a reason why it costs a lot to live there.
yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk family, man. I was doing the research. 6 siblings, man. Talk to me about that life because I know it had to be crazy in the house.
Yeah. So two brothers, two brothers, two sisters. Um, One of them or both of them are from um, my dad, so we all have the same dad, different moms, and then my sisters, we all have the same mom but different dads. So
And so where do you fall in the order of age?
I'm the youngest out of everybody. Yeah,
So have they instilled wisdom upon you? Have you taken some beatings? Has it worked out for the best? Because we always find out that the younger athletes always end up being the best, for one reason or another. Either they took the beatings or the older siblings taught them a thing or two, and one way or the other, man, it makes out to you to be a stronger person.
yeah. All of my older siblings, they taught me a lot growing up. Um, I'm honestly the only one out of my siblings that really pursued a sport, in high school and beyond. Um, but yeah, they've always been supportive and just always taught me right from wrong since a young age.
Yeah, dad was happy. He was like, "Man, I got to get an athlete in this bunch." So he went through all the first ones. Like, "Man, where's my athlete?" Finally, last one comes through. You come through clutch.
Yeah.
All right. So got to know, from the West Coast, you were down here south. We got all our different heroes growing up in the sports world. For you, man, out there, who was your favorite athlete growing up?
Honestly, I was really big on football, so I'm gonna say Chad Johnson is probably my favorite athlete of all time.
Ocho Cinco,
He was great.
elite talent, elite athlete. A lot of the antics threw people off, but man, wide receiver divas are gonna do their thing. And I saw that you played football, man. Kind of all around the field, played different positions. I was a football player myself, not a baseball player. So, my question for you, because a lot of times when we have guys who play football and baseball, they say that football mentality made them a better baseball player, and a lot of times they are pitchers. So, for you, did playing football help you on that baseball grind?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just maybe more competitive overall. That environment that you're around in football is always crazy. Hyper, just super aggressive to win, and I think that translates to baseball for me.
Yeah, when I was stationed out there, Anthony, man, I went to some high school football games. We have the big hosses down in the South, but y'all had speed. Like I was watching dudes on the field, and I was like, man, I wouldn't have been able to play with them. I wouldn't have been able to catch nobody because I was a safety. I'm watching these dudes, and I'm like, this felt like they're moving on a different level. I mean, was it like that when you're playing a lot of fast dudes?
Yeah, honestly, you know, I switched to baseball with no hesitation, just because I was smaller and just had a better career going forward playing baseball.
And you're pumping in the 90s. I would too. And then you don't got to get hit. But you ultimately choose UC San Diego, obviously, somewhere local. Was that something that you wanted to do? Did you want to stay close to home at first, or is it just one of those? It was a good baseball school that offered you, so that's where you ended up going.
Yeah, I think it was a really good program for me at the time. Um, yeah, I mean, I didn't really have many options coming out of high school, and I think it just worked out the best for me and my family.
Yeah, talking to, even one of your teammates, Derek Carriel, but talking to a lot of these California guys, it really is hard. You probably didn't have nearly as many offers just because if you don't go showcase yourself all over the country all the time, they're not going to see you as much. And so it's just one of those things, because West Coast baseball is a big a deal. Here where I live in North Mississippi, Tennessee line, man, there's a tournament every single weekend, Little League World Series down the street, all these different competitive tournaments, 80 teams coming in, like it's crazy. So like you get seen, but if you're over there, maybe not as much. But in your time at UC San Diego, man, had an elite record, had an 8-3 record between the 2 years, just over a 3 ERA, 85 Ks to only 16 walks, great ratio, 190 opponent bat average. So really, really well. But the thing I want to know, I always like to know what you learn the most, especially when you go one place from the other, because it's the one thing that you'll probably take with you. So playing for UC San Diego, getting that time, what was the one thing you learned the most?
Yeah, at UC San Diego, I feel like the biggest thing for me to learn was just how important it is to have a good routine, to go through and to be consistent with. I think that was really big with my development, mentally and physically, on and off the field. I feel like it just helped me be better prepared for games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great program for those who aren't just baseball casuals. Those who watch, we know how great a program it is. It's also, I say casuals, but that's kind of maybe rude because they just play late too, right? Like it's hard when games start as late as they do. That's why a lot of those West Coast teams, you go to make your top 25 and people are like, how good is that team? And I'm sitting there like, man, honestly, I'm reading stats because a lot of times they playing at midnight. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
But you ultimately get a chance to play for Team USA. We've had so many dudes over the last 5 years come on the show that played for Team USA. Amazing opportunity. Obvious question of wearing like the red, white, and blue, but they talk about the guys they get to play with. And my question for you is: there guys that you got to play with that you're going to get to play against in the SEC this year? Like you made friendships with, you look excited to play this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good guys from every conference on that team, but as far as SEC, yeah, there's a good amount that I play against. Not even the SEC or not even USA, but like Ike Irish this last weekend. Like
Yeah.
I faced him in the Cape in summer ball, so like
It's a crazy dynamic, man. You go
yeah,
from being boys to oh, we gotta throw that aside. Which you're still friends, but when you got out there on that diamond, man, it's kind of crazy. I told you I was at Tennessee Ole Miss this week. I had people saying Luke Hill and Liam Doyle is pitcher and batter were going at each other. They're like they really don't like each other. I'm like no. I was like they're actually still best friends. It's just in game. That stuff
yeah,
goes off to the side. So it don't matter if you were Team USA. Don't matter if you're in the Cape. You got to throw it aside. But since you brought up Auburn, man, I want to go there. Like tough week for you. Not terrible, but not where you were the previous few weeks. Pitchers got to have a short memory. How do you go about just putting that in the rear view and focusing on the next week?
yeah. I just want to stay consistent with my work ethic, and my routine. I think that's the biggest thing for me. No matter the outcome of last week, whether you pitch bad or pitch good, you got to worry about the next pitch and next week.
No doubt. Well, you keep bringing up routine, and I think about, man, when you come to LSU, because you obviously chose it for a reason, and when you come there, the way they do things, we talk to guys all the time, and the biggest surprise, going back to when we interviewed Skeens, talks about the weight room, talks about the nutrition, talks about just the schedule, and just man, how it's a constant grind. People think that you guys maybe have it easy, don't realize how many hours a day you put in with all the different aspects of it, and you got to have a routine, and you got to have that mentality. And so, I mean, for you, is that one of the reasons you chose LSU? And for you, how have you adapted?
Yeah. One of the reasons I chose LSU is just because they're so committed to winning. Everyone that comes to LSU is very successful in their future, whether they're playing baseball or not. So I think that was a big reason on why I came there or came here. But yeah, I think just sticking to a routine, just learning that here, with like the nutrition and the weight room and everything like that. I think it's just really beneficial to if you have a good routine, just to really advance your game.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I was lucky. I was blessed. I got to see you toe the rubber for the first time in the box this season. When you put on that purple and gold and you get to go out there and you toe that rubber in Alex box for the first time, man, what's that feeling like? Are you nervous at all? Is it just a lot of excitement, or is it kind of in between?
Yeah, I'm just excited. Super blessed for the opportunity. Um, that's going to be, the first and last time of me doing that ever. So I was just really grateful, just really taking in the moment.
Yeah, and so, man, having a great year. I said you're coming off one of your tougher outings, but 5-1 on the year, 3.78 ERA, 71 Ks to 16 walks. Had some gutsy performances. My favorite may be Mississippi State. The way you battled that out, nothing more than I love more than when a pitcher gets in a jam, has some adversity, is able to push through it, don't have to go to the bullpen, and then not even that, but you get out of the scenario, but then you end up thriving, getting stronger the next inning. That shows what you're made of mentally. And so a lot of good performances. We talk about, the short memory of Auburn, but I want to ask about the previous games. What has been your favorite performance so far for you? Not because of stats, but you just felt like, man, that was your best game personally.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Nebraska. It was probably one of the worst starts of my career, as far as like the first inning and everything like that. But I think just I could have easily just quit. But I told myself I wasn't gonna do that. I trust the guys that I play around so much, and I think we can win every game. So I think just me staying committed to my plan. I'm just executing pitches, one pitch at a time really helped me grow throughout the outing. So one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, and I think back, Drew Beam told us last year. We've had him on a few times, but he gave up 6 runs in the first inning. Forgot who they were playing on something, but he ended up throwing a complete game. Ended up having like 10 Ks, but through the whole game. And he talked about for the same reason, because once he got out of that first inning, he just had to survive it. And then, man, he just was lights out the rest of the game. And even Billy Amick had came on and talked about they lost the game 6-5, and he was like, we stranded so many base runners. He's like, we owed it on Drew to win because he gave us a chance. And so I know exactly what you're talking about, and that mentality and mindset. So got Alabama on deck. You got to bounce back. We know the SEC is a gauntlet, and each week is going to be hard, but no time to rest. Coming off the Auburn week, what's been Jay's message for you guys to? I know it starts with the midweek, but to get back on track, because the week before, man, everything looked great, and now you're here, so it's kind of been an up and down.
Yeah. He's just preaching to us. Just stay committed to our plan. Just keep believing in yourselves. Just keep being yourselves, and just stay with the team. Just keep working hard, and just have a short-term memory.
Yeah. My last question before we play our game is Coach Yeski, man. I feel like he doesn't get enough love around the country. We obviously had Wes Johnson here before, a huge name, did big things with Skeens and Floyd and all them. But then after him, Coach Yeski's came in and done a phenomenal job the last couple of years. And I think people don't realize how great a pitching coach he is. So talk about, that relationship, that development you've been able to have with him so far.
Yeah, he's super intelligent. So I think we have really advanced conversations, just about baseball and life in general. I think he's really good, specifically with me, as far as perspective. Sometimes, like if I overthink something, on the field, he's really good at just simplifying that. So I think he's just super credible, honestly. Great man, puts in a lot of work. Always prepared. So,
yeah, well, I obviously think you made the right decision between the coaching staff, facilities, fan base. You're in the right place, and while it was a bad week, the reality is, like you said, you came there to win championships, and that's what we compete and do. And then ultimately, they make you to be the best version of yourself, so you can go in the draft and be something. So I see nothing but sky's the limit for the rest of the year for you and the team. I'll be there for LSU, Tennessee. Obviously, got the Bama series in between, but I'll personally be there. And I'm excited because I think y'all are going to bounce back this week. And then I think that series is going to be huge. We talked to different guys, thinking back to when we talked to Kate Anderson about it. Expectation is to break. And I think who else said it? Casas, talking about just breaking, or no, Case and Evans, talking about breaking that record. And I think it will, because it was set 2 years ago when Tennessee was there. Dolander and Skeens pitched, and I was there for that one. And so nothing better than an absolutely packed out Alex box. You getting to be out on that bump, best on best. I look forward to it. But let's play a game called This or That. It's simple. I give you two options. You choose one or the other. Just can't say neither. Can't say both. Down to play?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This or That is brought to you by Chinook Cedary. 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. Less salt, no sandpaper tongue. I know y'all got them in the dugout. Anthony, what's your favorite Chinook flavor?
Honestly, I'm not a big C guy, but if I was to eat them, I'll probably just go original or barbecue.
Yeah, so that means you're a bubblegum guy. What's the bubblegum flavor? There's no way you're not chewing on nothing.
Yeah, just the original bubblegum.
Oh man, you just plain on everything, huh?
Yeah.
I'm actually with you. I do the original on the seeds myself, so I actually can't hate. Well, we got to get into flavors on this first question. You now come from California to Louisiana. Got to know gumbo or jambalaya?
I'm going gumbo, honestly.
No wrong answer in that one. I do got to ask, man. Got to make sure some of your local teammates have taught you right. Have you been to the Blue Store to get some wings?
Yeah, I have.
All right, I always ask every LSU player that. What's the most you ate? Have you put down a 12-piece on your own?
12 piece, nah, probably like a 6-piece.
12 is well, yeah. You know what? You got to keep yourself healthier than I do. I definitely always try to at least get the 9-piece. I mean, when I go to Louisiana, all bets are off, man. I once did the 75 hard, lost 42 pounds, and then went down there for a weekend series. And I'm pretty sure, Anthony, I think I put like 7 pounds back, and it is what it is. All right. Got a real good question. We were talking about speed earlier. Would you rather have super speed or super strength?
Super speed.
All right. What's worse, no money or no internet?
No money.
All right. Purple or gold uniforms? No wrong answer, man.
Purple. I'm gonna go purple just for my preference.
Gold is usually the more popular answer, but we do get some purples, and a lot of times the purple is when the pitcher wears purple, right? Because that's the one that they throw in, they identify with. Their pitcher, you like to strike them out via fastball or off speed?
Honestly, off speed.
Yeah. Make them look foolish. I like it.
Off speed.
All right. This is the toughest question I'm going to give you. I got some what are supposed to be harder questions, but it's a teammate question. We ask all these questions. Can't duck this one. Who do you think hits bombs further, Ethan Fry or Bear Jones?
Based off of what I've seen, Bear Jones.
Yeah, because what's funny is I heard them talking a conversation on SEC Network, and they were like, who hits balls harder than Bear Jones? And I was like, maybe his teammate, because Ethan, man, they're both big guys, and they both hit them very hard. And I know you faced them in the fall, so you know all about it. Yeah. All right. Here's a question. Both teams aren't very good when we talk about Major League Baseball, but it is a big headline today. This is an LSU episode. Skeens goes head-to-head with Dylan Cruz. Who wins, the Pirates or the Nationals?
Honestly, I'm going to go Pirates.
I mean, the way Skeens is pitching, that's just the safe bet to go. It is a team game, but if one guy has an amazing day, it don't really matter. Mm-hmm. All right, last one, probably the most fun one. If you could go to a concert or sporting event, and I mean any concert or any sporting event, bucket list, anywhere, whoever it is, what are you doing, the concert or sporting event?
I'm probably doing the sporting event.
All right, where you going? Who you want to see?
Honestly, I probably want to go to a Super Bowl. I've never been to a Super Bowl.
Who's your squad?
My dad likes the Steelers, so I'm going to go Steelers.
All right, Steelers in the Super Bowl. I'd get down with it. Maybe play the Saints. We may never be back ever again, but I'll go for it, All right, well, man, you're off the hot seat. Anthony, anything you want to plug or promote? You got any NIL stuff or any brands you're representing that you want to throw out there?
Honestly, just working, pretty much with myself right now. So
I got you. Well, man, I like I said to you, I meant what I said. The sky is the limit, whether you're talking about individually or as a team. I think y'all bounce back. I think you yourself, man, really just impressed with, like I said, the way you face adversity. You got a mental toughness, definitely got the arsenal to work with and go against any batting lineup in the country. So I look forward to seeing you keep grinding, man. Hope that you stay healthy. And I do have one last thing, man. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. I do know that you are a person of faith. I know that baseball is a game of failure. How much of a role does your faith play in giving you strength out there on that mound?
Yeah, it's everything. I'm just so blessed to even be able to play the game. And if something bad happens in the game, I'll just think in my head like there's so many worse things that are happening like in the real world that what happens in this game is not the end of the world. Not saying that I don't care at all. Like
Yeah.
obviously,
No, and I know what you're saying, and that's what I tried to put out this weekend. We got y'all the Jesus One shirt, so I know that you've probably seen them, or Derek Curriell and them got them running around, but got them worn at Ole Miss this weekend by the players. I had the Ole Miss and Tennessee being worn in the crowd, and I kept telling people exactly what you just said, because people get upset, if you lose. I'm like, man, win or lose, at the end of the day, Jesus won, and if you're a Christ follower, man, you're winning on the end of this day because he's already done it. And so I know some people, believe in that and they kind of get bent by that whole idea, but man, it is just a baseball game and you're going to win or lose sometimes. And man, just enjoy the ride. And so for you, man, keep doing what you're doing. Stay strong in your faith, enjoy the ride. And for those who are listening, it's a special this week. I will be talking to Mick Paul and Derek Curriell. 15% of the proceeds will go to a ministry of their choice, but the shirts are on sale for $16.33 this week in honor of John 16:33, the verse that in which Jesus One is brought to you by. So go get your shirt. Use code IOTB15, which means you get the additional 15% off. It's crazy, Anthony. You can go get your LSU Jesus One shirt for basically $14. It don't get any better. Go rep it at the box. Support these guys. But Anthony, man, I know you got a lot to do. I'll let you get out of here, man. I really appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's Anthony Eyanson, everybody. If you like hearing his story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter, listen and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, all that good stuff. We will be back, me and Daniel, tonight. We will have college baseball live. But remember, in the meantime, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. I am